I have heard the innermost thoughts of the general who protects the realm. When I attended court, he remarked, Your Majesty's serious demeanor stirs a certain restlessness within me. During my incognito visit, he expressed a desire to bind Your Majesty within the general's estate. As I retired for the night, he strode in boldly, exclaiming, This little figure is truly captivating. I was left bewildered. Help! What should I do about a general who is a man of tender affections yet dares to challenge authority? At present, I have just concluded the morning court session, burdened with the mountain of memorials piled upon my desk, and let out a sigh. Suddenly, a eunuch approached to report, Your Majesty, the general who protects the realm has arrived. Let him in. My heart soared with joy. General Ji Jian is one of the few individuals in this court I can trust implicitly, and with him here, I could offload half of these memorials. Upon entering, Ji Jian was momentarily startled by my unsteady demeanor and swiftly came to support me in his embrace. Your Majesty, are you unwell? Your constitution seems frail. I fear you may fall. I was taken aback. What had I just heard? Has Your Majesty injured yourself? Though Ji Jian's concern was genuine, his cold visage betrayed no emotion, and his tone remained indifferent. I shook my head, straightened up, and concluded I must have misheard. I intended to discuss the memorials with Ji Jian, but an odd voice echoed in my mind once more. Today, I must attend to state affairs diligently. After all, Your Majesty's health is so fragile. It seems that Your Majesty did not rest well last night. I should remain by Your Majesty's side throughout the day and find ways to manage more matters. In Your Majesty's current state, I shall need to cultivate a few elite imperial guards. I gazed at the strikingly handsome man seated before me, the two of us alone in this study. Could it be that I was hearing Ji Jian's thoughts? Noticing my bewildered stare, Ji Jian expressed concern. Is Your Majesty feeling unwell? No. In reality, I was utterly flabbergasted. Ji Jian spoke of my frailty, of taking on my memorials, and even of training the imperial guards. Could it be that the one I had always trusted harbored intentions to eliminate me? I was perplexed as to why I suddenly heard Ji Jian's thoughts and decided to remain discreet, observing the situation for a while. As usual, Ji Jian approached my desk and took half of the memorials for himself. I shall share the burden with Your Majesty. Having said that, he seated himself not far from me and began reviewing the documents. While he displayed no outward emotion during his work, it seemed his heart was not as tranquil. I dared not speak. My ascension to the throne amidst the turbulent struggle for power among the 9 princes was largely thanks to Ji Jian, who had carved a bloody path for me with his sword. Upon my coronation, I promptly appointed Ji Jian as the general who protects the realm and kept him by my side, believing we were comrades who had shared life and death. Yet now, it seemed he contemplated rebellion. I had placed my utmost trust in his every decision, confiding all military authority to him. Even concerning the harem, when Ji Jian advised against taking consorts due to the instability of my reign, I believed him, resulting in a palace devoid of a queen. It was clear now that his reluctance to allow me to take consorts stemmed from a desire to eliminate my lineage, to eradicate me entirely. But I had treated Ji Jian well. Why would he wish to take my life? Did he aspire to claim the entire empire for himself? Perhaps I should consider relinquishing my throne. After all, Ji Jian had grown up in the military and wielded all the power. Would it not be a matter of moments for him to bring about my demise? Maybe, in light of our past camaraderie, he might spare my life? I swallowed hard, deciding to probe Ji Jian's thoughts further. General Ji, I have a question for you. Ji Jian paused his writing, lifting his gaze to meet mine. Your Majesty, please speak. Well, what do you think of our vast and splendid realm? I believe it is splendid. Your Majesty governs with wisdom. Indeed, it is quite admirable, but all I wish for is... Ji Jian's inner voice abruptly ceased. What could he possibly desire? General Ji, your assistance in reviewing memorials has been commendable. If there is anything you wish for, do not hesitate to voice it. If he would not speak his desires, I would inquire directly. Your Majesty, I seek nothing. I only wish to alleviate Your Majesty's concerns. I desire you? What could he mean? My life? Oh no, the most loyal general of the realm seeks the Emperor's life. What am I to do? 2. I found myself staring blankly at Ji Jian, lost in contemplation about how I might persuade him to spare my life. Sensing my pallor, Ji Jian rose and approached me, bracing his hands upon the desk before me as he gazed down from his superior height. Your Majesty, is something troubling you? His Majesty's face is so pale. He seems unwell. Could reviewing memorials have upset him? Nothing. I'm just somewhat fatigued and wish to rest for a while. I dared not meet his eyes. Allow me to escort Your Majesty to bed. In my current state, refusal was not an option. I feared that any displeasure from Qi Jian might provoke a coup, abruptly ending my fragile existence. Very well. With measured steps, Qi Jian supported me as we proceeded toward the bedchamber. Why is His Majesty always so frail and unwell? With such a delicate constitution, he ought to be confined to a quiet room, shielded from burdensome duties. He even considers imprisoning me? Who will come to my rescue? Once I had lain down, Qi Jian carefully draped a light quilt over me, offered a reverent bow, and withdrew from the chamber. Watching his retreating figure, his inner thoughts surfaced once more. Lying restlessly upon the bed, I turned over repeatedly, consumed by strategies to secure my survival under Qi Jian's shadow. Yet no viable solution emerged, and mental exhaustion soon claimed me, pulling me into slumber. In a moment of illusory joy, a long sword pierced my abdomen. Blood gushed forth instantly. Staring in disbelief at my impaled body, I strained to turn my head, only to meet Qi Jian's icy, detached countenance. Shock seized me as I gazed at him, but he strode past indifferently, advancing toward the imperial throne. My heart wrenched as though torn from my chest, especially when he seated himself upon the dragon throne while I lay dying before him. No. Please no. I awoke with a start, my pillow drenched in cold sweat. Hearing my cry, Qi Jian hurried from the adjacent study. Your Majesty, what has happened? Observing my trembling, sweat-soaked state and vacant expression as I sat upright, Qi Jian rushed to the bedside, gathering me into a protective embrace. Your Majesty, it's all right now, I am here. Since the tumultuous struggle for the throne, nightmares had frequently haunted me. Though often centered on imperial power, being slain by Qi Jian was a first, a shock I struggled to process. How distressing to see him like this. Distressed, I lifted my head from his embrace, studying him with bewilderment. If he truly despised me and sought my death, why would my suffering evoke his concern rather than satisfaction? Did your Majesty have a nightmare? His hand gently cupped my cheek, emotions swirling deep within his eyes. I should never have allowed His Majesty to witness such bloodshed. Now he bears the trauma. I must guide him gently toward recovery. Ah yes, a nightmare. It's nothing unusual. I've grown accustomed to them. Would it help if I stayed by His Majesty's side as he sleeps? What is this situation? Outwardly, Qi Jian remained composed, yet his inner voice suggested otherwise. He displayed no trace of malice. Had I misinterpreted his intentions this morning? I resolved to clarify the misunderstanding, for I am not one to harbor doubts silently. Lifting my gaze to his profound, dark eyes, I drew a steadying breath. General Qi, do you intend to kill me? Boldness overruled caution as the question escaped me. Never. Your Majesty must still be disoriented from sleep. Frowning, Qi Jian seemed perplexed by my inquiry. I would sooner devote myself to his protection. Why would I harm him? General Qi, do you consider my constitution weak? Your Majesty is in the prime of youth. How could there be any weakness? Yet he neglects proper meals while managing state affairs. This will surely undermine his health. I must ensure His Majesty builds his strength. And how proceeds the training of the Imperial Guards? All proceeds smoothly. We have selected 30 for intensive drills to serve as elite troops. They must be impeccably trained to safeguard His Majesty. I shall also deploy hidden guards to watch over him constantly. Should any danger arise in my absence, they will alert me promptly. If only I could reside by His Majesty's side, then these covert measures would be unnecessary. Hearing his inner monologue warmed my heart. His morning emphasis on training the guards was meant to enhance my safety. He even desires to protect me personally. Such devotion moves me deeply. Then why forbid me from taking consorts? At this, Qi Jian's face darkened abruptly, startling me. Your Majesty, I believe your focus should remain on governance. Matters of the inner palace can wait. Now that I can spend my days with His Majesty, the arrival of women would only reduce our time together. How vexing. Ah? Under the guise of state affairs, his true concern is losing proximity to me? Now I understand. This morning's fears were a misunderstanding. Qi Jian harbors no ambition to seize the throne or end my life. What a relief. I exhaled deeply, tension melting away. Did your Majesty have that recurring nightmare again? I nodded, then shook my head. Similar, but in this dream you became a stranger to me, ultimately piercing my heart with the very sword that helped secure my throne. Recalling his cold expression in the dream, a shiver of fear ran through me. Your Majesty, dreams are often contrary to reality. I vow to wield that sword in your defense for a lifetime. Qi Jian clasped my hand, his voice a soft reassurance. It must be those accursed memorials straining His Majesty's nerves. Henceforth, I shall arrive earlier to share the burden. I fought a wry smile, sensing the unwitting ministers had earned Qi Jian's resentment. With the misunderstanding resolved, my spirits lifted. Indeed, Qi Jian has always stood by my side. Stretching lazily, I smiled warmly at him. I feel somewhat hungry. Let us have a meal served, and I wish for General Qi to dine with me. Certainly. I shall ensure His Majesty eats heartily. Henceforth I will supervise his meals daily. I suppressed a grimace. Well, that might be excessive. The meal was exceptionally enjoyable, free of lingering worries. Qi Jian's care remained evident, though the mountain of meat nearly overflowing my bowl left me quite overwhelmed. 3. Dawn broke with Qi Jian gently rousing me. Your Majesty, it is time to prepare for the morning court. His Majesty's cheeks look so soft. He must have worked late into the night. How it pains me. I wish he could rest longer. Opening my eyes, I met Qi Jian's doting gaze. Please fetch my court attire. By now, I had grown accustomed to overhearing Qi Jian's inner voice, which invariably revolved around me. His concern seemed genuine, urging me to eat well, fretting over my health, often admiring my endearing qualities. Though his handsome, stern face betrayed none of this, his heart lay open before me. While assisting my drowsy self into the court robes, Qi Jian directed the palace maids to prepare water for ablutions. Such routines had become second nature to us. Yet, rising for morning court remained a struggle, hence Qi Jian's daily visits to the palace to wake me. His Majesty's form is so delicate. How I wished to touch it. Before I could react, his large hand brushed lightly against my waist. Qi Jian, that tickles. Such moments of His Majesty's vulnerability are for my eyes alone. Hearing such possessive thoughts, I grew perplexed. While his attentiveness was clear, these inwardly proclaimed claims of ownership stirred wild speculations within me. Could it be that Qi Jian? I shook my head. Surely not. Lost in thought, I failed to notice Qi Jian had finished robing me, leaving me staring blankly at his striking features. Your Majesty, if you continue gazing so, we shall be late for court. Why is your Majesty looking at me like that? Though even your dazed expression is utterly endearing. How intriguing that I find myself drawn to this contrast in the aloof, imposing general. No, what am I thinking? Perhaps in Qi Jian's eyes, I'm merely a child he has taken under his wing. Why am I entertaining such frivolous thoughts? I splashed water haphazardly on my face and fled the room, cheeks flushed. Why is your Majesty in such a hurry today? Do slow down lest you stumble. Hearing his inner voice from behind only further flustered my heart. In the court, the ministers knelt below, with Qi Jian positioned in the front row. Your Majesty, recent floods in the southeast have plunged the people into dire straits. I frowned slightly while reviewing the memorial presented. Dispatch a portion of the granary reserves to the afflicted regions, distribute relief funds to the refugees, and establish shelters to prevent our subjects from becoming displaced. Your Majesty is most sagacious, the ministers chorused in unison. What should have been a solemn morning audience was disrupted by an untimely thought. Your Majesty's serious demeanor stirs restless desires within me. Clearly, this voice belonged to none other than Qi Jian. I observed his expressionless face as he echoed, Your Majesty is most sagacious, alongside the other officials. My cheeks burned. What on earth is going through his mind? As I listened to the Minister of Revenue, a sudden idea surfaced. Indeed, I have decided to undertake an incognito inspection tour to Jiangnan at the start of spring, appointing General Qi as my personal guard. Does any esteemed minister object? The court fell into dead silence. None would dare oppose a decree already uttered, and I was merely observing formalities. The decision was abrupt, and even Qi Jian seemed taken aback. While assessing the people's welfare was a genuine concern, bringing Qi Jian along was primarily to decipher his true feelings toward me. Restless desires, could it mean what I suspect? Coupled with his earlier mention of wanting me, having confirmed he bears no murderous intent, I now strongly suspect Qi Jian harbors affections for his own gender, and the object of his affection is most likely me. For, why has your Majesty suddenly decided on an incognito tour? Previously, such significant matters would be discussed with me. Why not this time? Though I'll have the privilege of attending closely to your Majesty, I cannot help but feel somewhat displeased. Guilt tugged at me. I could hardly admit it was to test whether he loves me. I merely wish to see how the people fare. And I've heard Jiangnan scenery is splendid. a place I've yet to visit. That may be for the best. Your Majesty has had little respite since ascending the throne. A leisurely trip would be most welcome. This could be our first excursion enjoying nature together. Perhaps I might even seize the opportunity to grow closer to your Majesty. Watching Qi Jian unconsciously reveal a faint, anticipatory smile, I found myself captivated. Had I been bewitched by his caring inner voice? Why does my heart feel this peculiar itch? Soon it was time to depart. After entrusting state affairs to the Chancellor, I began packing, or rather, Qi Jian packed for me. In memory, he has always attended to my matters personally. Your Majesty, include this heavier garment. Early spring in Jiangnan can still be chilly. His Majesty's constitution is delicate. I mustn't let him fall ill. I'll secretly pack a few extra pieces, just in case. Observing Qi Jian's earnestness as he organized my belongings, I reflected on his ruthless reputation among the courtiers, while privately, I've always found him exceedingly gentle. Coupled with my ability to hear his thoughts, I felt a secret pride, for I alone know Qi Jian's true nature. Finally, the day of departure arrived. To maintain discretion, we traveled modestly with 2 carriages, one for luggage, the other shared by Qi Jian and me. Once beyond the palace gates, I couldn't resist peering out the carriage window. Having been confined to the palace for nearly 2 years, everything on the streets felt novel. Noticing my delighted expression, Qi Jian sat beside me, simply watching. Your Majesty is so adorable. Perhaps we should forego the incognito tour and have you whisked away to the general's residence instead. How I long to hold your Majesty close. The journey to Jiangnan would take about a fortnight, with stops along the way. Whenever we encountered lively markets, we'd explore, and Qi Jian never complained. If I so much as glanced at an item, he would purchase it. Before even reaching Jiangnan, the luggage carriage was filled with exquisite trinkets. Your Majesty, if you're weary, rest your head upon me and sleep a while. Seeing me nod off drowsily, Qi Jian gazed at me with tender concern. How wonderful if he could lie in my embrace. I wish to draw your Majesty nearer. Hearing him address me as your Majesty irked me. We were far from the palace, and such formality was unnecessary during an incognito tour. I leaned closer to Qi Jian, creating a sense of pressure, and stared directly at him. Seemingly surprised by my sudden proximity, he paused before pulling me into an embrace with a light chuckle. Understood, young Master Yi. Sleep now. His Majesty used my name. How it gladdens me. Since his coronation, he has never addressed me so familiarly. It felt distant indeed. His Majesty must be exhausted from these days of travel. I hope this brings him some comfort. Leaning against Qi Jian's shoulder, I closed my eyes. Truly, I hadn't rested well. At every stop, Qi Jian insisted on sharing my room, citing protection. Yet the finest in rooms had only one large bed, and I couldn't bear to make him sleep on the floor, so I invited him to share the bed. Though he initially refused, I threatened that if he didn't join me, I'd refuse to leave the carriage the next day. Reluctantly, he acquiesced, though inwardly he was overjoyed. To share a bed with His Majesty. How thrilling! Should I stealthily embrace him once he's asleep? Even his manner of threatening is endearing. Though I have countless ways to coax him out, I haven't the heart to refuse such a display. I stifled a smirk. His words and thoughts have long been at odds. Each dawn, I awoke in Qi Jian's arms. Watching his fluttering eyelashes in slumber, my heart raced uncontrollably. His Majesty is awake and gazing at me. How I wish to open my eyes. But no, I want to hold him a little longer. How could the esteemed general feign sleep just to prolong an embrace? Though Qi Jian's company was comforting, enduring full days in a carriage wearied anyone. His robust physique allowed him to ride for days without complaint, whereas I, accustomed to sedentary life behind a desk, was ill-prepared for such exertion. The journey took its toll, and one night nightmares returned. In my dream, I stood drenched in blood, clutching Qi Jian's sword, surrounded by the corpses of my siblings. The sky was bleak, rain poured relentlessly, and blood mingled with water to form a crimson river. Qi Jian watched from afar, and though I ran toward him, he seemed to grow ever more distant. Qi Jian held me tightly, his inner voice silent, but I was too distraught to ponder his thoughts. Though I emerged victorious in the struggle for the throne, the horror of fratricide haunted me deeply. In the early days of my reign, the bloodied faces of the departed tormented my nights, leaving me afraid to sleep. Only Qi Jian, noticing my distress immediately, stayed by my side, offering solace. Thanks to him, my condition improved, and now nightmares visit only occasionally. Qi Jian has been my guardian. Whenever I call his name, he appears without fail. Perhaps my feelings for him transcend mere sovereign-subject relations or even the bond of sworn comrades. And judging by his inner voice, his sentiments toward me are much the same. 5. I awoke in the carriage to find the sky outside had darkened, and Qi Jian was gazing at me intently. Lord Yi, we shall arrive in Jiangnan in a few hours. Once there, you should rest properly before leisurely exploring the area. His Majesty looks so endearing upon waking. I yearned to kiss him. The dim lamplight within the carriage cast a soft glow upon Qi Jian's typically austere features, lending them an unexpected tenderness. His eyes remained fixed on me, brimming with a desire that seemed barely contained, perhaps due to my groggy state after sleep, or because my own heart could no longer be restrained. I found myself inexplicably yielding to his unspoken thoughts. Gently clutching the fabric of his robe, I lifted my head and pressed a fleeting kiss to his lips. The kiss was tentative, almost ephemeral, and as I drew back, my vision remained slightly blurred. Qi Jian, usually so composed, now wore an expression of astonishment, though it was overshadowed by raw passion and restraint. I can no longer hold back. No sooner had this thought echoed in my mind than his hands pulled me into an embrace, his form eclipsing the lamplight entirely. What followed was a kiss of fierce possessiveness. I did not resist, allowing his essence to overwhelm my senses. The warmth of his breath caused my eyelashes to flutter faintly. After what felt like an eternity, my breathing grew uneven, and Qi Jian reluctantly released me. Weak and languid, I leaned against his chest, my eyes misty with emotion. Is this a dream? Did His Majesty truly kiss me? Does his initiative mean he shares my feelings? Could it be that he loves me? He seemed almost disbelieving, while I, exhausted from the intensity of the kiss, could only gasp softly to regain my breath. Gazing into the profound depths of his eyes, I permitted myself this moment of indulgence. I was not the emperor but simply Yi Qiu, and he was not the general but Qi Jian. Lord Yi, he began, but was interrupted by the coachman's voice from outside. Lord Yi, Lord Qi, we have arrived at the Jiangnan Inn. Understood. Please secure the carriage and retire for the night, I replied. Yet, the faint blush on my cheeks did not escape Qi Jian's notice. He did not remark upon it, merely following me with a soft chuckle. So adorable. I truly adore His Majesty. Hearing his inner thoughts, I felt as though I might combust from embarrassment. Hastily, I booked a room and ascended the stairs without waiting for him, heading straight to the inn's bathing chamber with a change of clothes. This inn, the largest in Jiangnan, offered private bathing quarters. The attending maid had prepared the bathwater, and I quickly immersed myself. The entire situation felt akin to a confession of love. How would I face him later? The thought alone was mortifying. Lord Yi, are you not finished yet? His Majesty has been soaking for half an hour. Why has he not emerged? I grow impatient. It has been too long since I last saw him. I miss him dearly. Even through the door, I could discern Qi Jian's silent musings. Startled, I rose abruptly from the wooden tub. Only after hearing his footsteps recede did I hurriedly don my inner garments. Upon entering the room, Qi Jian rose and guided me to sit on the bed. Why did this feel so natural now? Lord Yi, the night is late. Let us rest well tonight. I long to hold His Majesty. He carries such a delightful fragrance. There are words I wish to share later. My heart raced at his unspoken words. What did he intend to say? Very well, we shall forego reading tonight, I replied, settling effortlessly into the inner side of the bed. Qi Jian, as if by habit, extinguished the lamps but left a small one on the table emitting a faint glow. Lord Yi, there is something I wish to tell you, he said, his gaze intense enough to quicken my pulse. Speak, I urged. He drew me into an embrace, burying his face in the crook of my neck, his voice uncharacteristically unsteady. This time, I did not wish to hear his thoughts. I desired to hear the words aloud. Your Majesty, what I am about to say may overstep boundaries, but I beg your forgiveness. I shifted slightly within his arms to better see his face, nervous yet nodding for him to continue. Yi Qiu, when the late emperor first brought you to the military camp, I thought you were merely a delicate prince. Naive like the others, spouting ideals but incapable of addressing real issues. Yet time proved me wrong. As I watched you distribute food to the commoners, comfort refugee children by patting their heads, and console the people by day while secretly shedding tears at night, I realized I had found a sovereign worth following for a lifetime. Unknowingly, I grew envious when you bestowed your radiant smile upon others. I even harbored the impulse to conceal you away, though I knew such actions were forbidden. From the outset, I believed you would become a wise ruler, for your genuine concern for the people and your grand aspirations were evident. Thus, I vowed to carve a path of bloodshed to aid you in achieving your dreams. Ichio, as the nation's monarch, you present an image of strength and integrity to your subjects. Yet, I wish to privately cherish your vulnerabilities and sorrows, aspects only I am privileged to witness. I desire to remain by your side eternally, not as subject and ruler, but as partners. Ichio, would you be willing? Tears streamed down my face as I beheld his earnest expression, and he tenderly wiped them away with his thumb. He was confessing to Ichio the person, not the title of emperor. I buried myself in his embrace, my voice muffled. Yes, I too wish to stay with you always. Chi-Jian, do not leave me. Emerging slightly, I met his gaze, tears still glistening at the corners of my eyes. Chi-Jian's inner voice resonated once more. His Majesty is utterly captivating when he cries. I yearn to press him down and tease him mercilessly. How I wish to see him beg through tears. Now that our feelings are mutual, surely this is permissible. Wait, what? Before I could react, he flipped me onto my back, his fervent kisses descending upon me. Your Majesty, you are finally mine, he murmured. The room's atmosphere grew heated. My mind swam in a daze, and I could only feebly clutch at his loosened inner robe. In the haze of passion, he leaned close to my ear, his warm breath brushing against it as two voices merged into one. Ichio, I love you. Ichio, I love you. The next day, I awoke to the sun high in the sky. Opening my eyes, I was met with Chi-Jian's contented expression. Tempting to move, I winced at the soreness in my waist. Shooting him a reproachful look, I supported my aching back. His Majesty looks fierce, but the way he pleaded tearfully last night was utterly adorable. I simply could not resist. Lord Yi, allow me to massage your waist, he offered. Annoyed by his duplicity yet conceding to the discomfort, I lay prone. His skilled hands brought immediate relief. His waist is so slender, I could caress it endlessly. How blissful that I alone have touched this hidden grace beneath his robes. But what if I vex him too greatly? Why is His Majesty silent? Is my massage unsatisfactory? Though not a word passed between us, his silent thoughts filled my heart with a sweet warmth. I could not suppress a soft laugh. What amuses you, Your Majesty? Did I touch a ticklish spot? Where was I pressing just now? Turning, I looped my arms around his neck, straddling him, and kissed him deeply. It is nothing, I murmured, smiling. I merely realized how profoundly I adore you. My eyes sparkled with unrestrained affection, the love within them impossible to conceal. He encircled my waist, his lips meeting mine once more in an irresistible kiss. Lord Yi, does this count as overstepping my bounds? Chi-Jian teased with a light laugh. I adore being close to Your Majesty. I love every expression that graces your face. What else can I do? It's not as if I can throw you into the dungeons, I replied, held tightly in Chi-Jian's embrace, surrendering to his whims. After lying together a while longer, my stomach rumbled. Chi-Jian, I'm hungry. I shall go downstairs and bring a meal for you, my lord, Chi-Jian said, rising to leave. Your Majesty probably can't get out of bed. My fault for being too rough yesterday. I gritted my teeth. As the sovereign of a nation, to dine in bed upon arriving in an unfamiliar place would surely become a subject of ridicule among the people. No need. I will go down myself, I insisted, steadying myself shakily against the bedpost as I stood. My legs nearly buckled the moment I rose, but Chi-Jian swiftly stepped forward to support me. My lord, please wait inside. I will fetch the meal. I refuse. I wish to dine downstairs, I declared stubbornly, meeting Chi-Jian's gaze. Observing my determined expression, he paused thoughtfully before scooping me into his arms. Ah? You startled me, I exclaimed, hastily wrapping my arms around his neck for fear of falling. Can't help it. Your Majesty is utterly adorable. I couldn't resist teasing a little. My lord is in no condition to walk, so I shall carry you down, he said, giving me a gentle bounce for emphasis. My cheeks flushed with embarrassment. How had I never noticed this mischievous side of Chi-Jian before? But previously, I couldn't hear his inner thoughts. As Chi-Jian carried me downstairs, our attire made it clear we were not ordinary folk, though onlookers wisely refrained from comment. Seated beside him, he served me my favorite dishes, just as he would in the palace. Unconsciously, I had gained a little weight under his care, but I also felt healthier. That afternoon, Chi-Jian held me as we napped again, my current state making outings impractical. Since we had a month here, missing a day or two mattered little. 7. As my condition gradually improved, I decided to venture out. Qi Jian seemed almost resentful. How annoying. Your Majesty hasn't let me touch him these past 2 days, allowing only brief kisses. What is so great about going out? Staying at the inn would be better. Has your Majesty grown tired of me? Does he no longer wish to be close? I massaged my temples. Had Qi Jian forgotten this was an incognito inspection tour? Though inwardly reluctant, once we stepped outside, Qi Jian firmly took my hand. Initially nervous, I was soothed by his thoughts. I want to stay close to your Majesty forever. Here, no one knew I was the emperor, nor that Qi Jian was a general. We were merely an affectionate couple amidst the misty rains of Jiangnan, lost in our own world. We shared candied hawthorn berries in the bustling night market, embraced on the inn's rooftop under the moonlight, and stole kisses in a boat on the lake. In the carriage, I nestled discontentedly in Qi Jian's arms. But perhaps I can still share your Majesty's bed tonight. The imperial bed is far more spacious than the inn's. Gazing at him, I sighed softly. Qi Jian, would you be my empress? Would it be too demeaning? I only wish to remain by your Majesty's side. Titles mean nothing to me. What? Is your Majesty going to ennoble me? Unconventional, but not unacceptable. Truthfully, even before being with Qi Jian, I had no desire for consorts. I focused solely on governance. Now that I had him, I wanted no one else. Your Majesty, you are the Son of Heaven. If you are unwilling, no one can force you. If your Majesty abolishes the harem, I'll be the first to support it. Then your Majesty will belong to me alone. I nodded. Abolishing the harem was feasible. To hell with tradition, I wanted only Qi Jian in this lifetime. I nuzzled against his chest, and he held me tighter. Your Majesty is truly adorable. I adore you. 8. At the first court session after returning to the palace, I announced my decision to abolish the harem. The ministers, except Qi Jian, were stunned. Your Majesty, this is impermissible. Producing heirs is a royal tradition. You cannot disregard it. Your Majesty, reconsider. How will the common people perceive you without a harem? As the ministers clamored, my head began to ache. Seeing your Majesty distressed makes me wish they would all perish. Meeting Qi Jian's furious eyes, my mood lightened slightly. Your Majesty is the Son of Heaven. To defy his decree, is that not overstepping your bounds? Qi Jian's south voice silenced the court. Your Majesty, I support any decision you make so long as it benefits the realm. I will always follow you. Should anyone dare oppose you, I would not hesitate to visit their residences with the imperial guards. My man is so dashing. As long as you do not harm yourself, I will support whatever you wish. Warmed by his words, I immediately drafted an edict. Since he was so formidable, I would not hold back. Overjoyed, I thought, General Qi Jian, guardian of the realm, is one of the few at court I can trust with my life. Now, half of these memorials can be delegated to him. Though the ministers were displeased, once the edict was issued, they dared not protest. 2 years later, the nation prospered, and the court gradually forgot the harem issue. Meanwhile, Qi Jian and I grew closer. He often slipped into my chamber late at night, and I had grown accustomed to it. One evening, I deliberately wore loose inner robes and waited on the bed for his arrival. When he entered, his breath caught. Your Majesty, you are far too enticing. I chuckled softly and opened my arms. Without hesitation, Qi Jian strode toward me. Outside, the palace maid discreetly closed the door. Perhaps the court suspected our relationship, but what did it matter? Moonlight bathed the silent courtyard, while inside, an enchanting scene unfolded. The end. Thank you for listening. Until our next story.